Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, my mute went on, so I apologize about that. Oh my goodness. So it like came on and then mute, and I was like, oh crap. Okay, so I haven't been on in a little while. I actually did this live thing the other day. What is it? Where you create a room, and I did that with my group members, and it worked out pretty well. Some people said they couldn't get on, so I'm not sure I'm a fan. And the reason I'm not is because so many watch me live after I'm live. So, it kind of makes it inconvenient for some. But I am going to go ahead and do it tomorrow, just so you guys know. So if you've joined the group, I am going to do the group Q&A live tomorrow, but it's face to face where you actually will see me in person. It'll be super fun. So it'll be over on the group tomorrow. And we will be chit chatting and getting to know each other. I think that's so important. And I want my group, not here on the page, but my group to be really tight knit and us to really know each other. And so, what better way to do that than face to face, right? And if you guys can't jump on or if there's a problem, PM me, okay? And I will figure it out. Even if I have to, what I'm trying to think about, and I'm sorry, I know this is the page, guys, but I just want to fill you in on this really quick, is what I'm thinking about possibly doing is if you can't get on to the Facebook, whatever it is, room, right? What I may do is also post a Zoom link because I have Zoom, and then you can join via Zoom. We still see each other face to face, okay? Because I can have the Facebook room up and Zoom, and then I can share my screen with Zoom, and then you can see me in the room, and then you can see everybody else in the room. Did that just confuse the hell out of you? All right, but it'll work, okay? If you can't get on to the room on tomorrow, then PM me, because what I'll do is I'll post a Zoom link, all right? And then you guys join Zoom, all right? I can't, and then you'll see me, but I'm going to share my screen, so then you'll see me, but you'll see me on the room, in the room. Does that make sense? Either way, I'm going to make it work, okay? That's what I'm saying. So even if I have to get both my computers, where I have one computer on Zoom and I have one computer in the room. Does that make sense? So you guys will be face to face with me, even if I have to have two separate computers where some people are Zoom and some people are in the Facebook room. All right. So I just want you to know that. All right. So tomorrow is legit. We are face to face. Don't say you have to wear makeup or dress up or any of those things. Okay. Literally Saturday morning, I had my tank top on from just sleeping. I had no bra, y'all. None. I didn't have a bra on. Nope. Sure didn't. And that's how I want you to come. As you are. And I mean, have clothes on, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just playing. I'm in a good mood today. I don't know why I'm in a good mood because I've been crazy busy, but it's Monday and we got to have some fun tonight. Okay. So here's the deal. You're going to hop on tomorrow. I don't care what you look like. All right. I just want to get to know you and who you are. Okay. I want to get to know you. All right. So don't say you have to brush your hair. Don't tell me you got to put on makeup. All right. I put on makeup maybe Monday and Thursday for y'all. Maybe. All right. I am a t-shirt and short kind of girl, yoga pant kind of girl. All right. You guys should see this shirt though that I have on. Let's see if you can see it. Can you see it? It says Autism Mom. And then it says here, hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh, you can't see it. All right. And then it says, hold on, I'll pull it up. Unbreakable. How cool is that? I love it. Okay. So I wanted y'all to see that. I love that shirt. And I'll show you some of the ones I've gotten that says Autism Mama Rocks IUP. So if you guys are interested in those, let me know. And I don't make money off of them. I just get them. So anyway, today I actually do a tip of the week. Okay. I usually do it on a Sunday or a Monday. And I didn't do it yesterday because we're replacing our floors. And I'm already ready to go crazy because my husband's been you know, hammering and having all that noise go on. And I'm on business calls with you guys and trying to focus. And I won't even have the TV on when I'm on with you guys on a call because I can't focus. And instead, I'm listening to my husband drill and everything else. So I'm going to take a picture, or I'll show you guys. I'm going to show my group live in a few minutes downstairs. It's chaos. And then I'm going to show you when it's done, but it actually looks pretty good in the kitchen. So today we're actually going to talk about, hi Michelle, hi Renita, thank you. I'll tell you, these autism shirts, they're expensive. Like this t-shirt, even though I like it, even though it says autism, mom, unbreakable, and it's really cool and I like it, it was like 32 bucks or something. They're expensive. Anything special needs is expensive. So anyway, I do a tip of the week every Monday or Sunday. All right. And I feel like I have a good tip of the week today. But I'm struggling because I'm actually struggling because I don't know what to do about it. I actually don't have an answer. I have an answer, but I don't have an answer. You know, I was talking to a mom a few minutes ago, and she actually even just sent me a video of her little boy, and he has speech and, you know, his classes and, you know, with the teacher, but the teacher's not teaching. He's in special ed. The teacher's not teaching. The aide is. And then he had like a PE online, and it was completely ineffective. And she has video of this, and I think that's genius. There's your tip. Okay, just kidding. But seriously, record your kids online. If it's not working, you need it on recording. So we were talking about this because her IEP comes up on Thursday. So I always like to brush up with my parents before the IEP meeting. And, you know, I work with a lot of parents. So I always, before an IEP meeting, I get really focused. All right. So even though I've done my 4-hour and I've done my IEP makeover of that whole IEP with that parent, and we've talked a little bit here and there until the IEP, usually a couple days before the IEP, I'm redoing things, or I'm going back to those evaluations. I'm going back to that IEP. I'm going back to what did I put as goals? You know, if it's been a month or so, it's been, with this case, it's been, you know, over a month. So, you know, I'm going back over the IEP. I'm talking to them about, is there anything new that's coming up or has come up, and with the virtual learning. And, you know, they're saying this isn't working. You know, he's not sitting still. He's not sitting down. He's not paying attention. And I just saw the video of where he sat. I was happy. He sat for a little bit, but he was not paying attention. It was not working for him. There was definitely not FAPE being delivered. And, you know, I heard the teacher, she didn't do anything wrong. You know, it's just not working for this student. He's not sitting to learn. Okay, he's online like the other children, and the PE class is with gen ed kids, where, you know, the special education was delivered by the aide and not the teacher. So that's a huge concern for me. So tell me, PM me, or post below if your school districts are doing that. Pay attention to this. If your school hasn't started yet, pay attention. Is the teacher teaching, or is a para teaching? All right. So let me rewind. My name is Raven Woods, and I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks the IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and the confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting. Now, with that said, if you're new to watching me live, first through third time, post a 1 below. If you're an oldie but goodie, you guys know what to do. I shouldn't have to tell you. Cynthia and Lucy and the other Cynthia, you and Jan, you guys don't need me to tell you what to do, but it posted 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. So everybody knows that you're an oldie but goodie, and you can help other parents out. And that's what happens over on the group. So if you're not a member of the group, it's a really nice group. It's, you know, close-knit. I'm sure many of you who may not be part of my group know what groups are about. I have to say, I feel like this group is a little different. There's not, you know, that cattiness going on. There's not nastiness or rude opinions, things like that going on. And if they do, they go pretty quick. And, you know, it's really become a really nice group where people really support each other. And it is educational based. So solely IEP, educational setting, 504s, you know, of course, you know, due process, mediation, complaints, etc. All of that combined. It's not um, a group so much and to the extent of, hey, my child has a fever, what should I do? It's not that type of group. It's educational based. But then, you know, there are questions here and there that pop up of, oh my gosh, my child's behavior was this, you know, what do you guys do? You know, there's that comes up every once in a while. So I just wanted to let you know what that's kind of about. But it's a great, great, great group. And you will learn a lot. You'll get a lot of your questions answered. I'm very active in the group, as are many parents. And it's very nice to have that support, as we all know, right? And it's really important too to understand that that is the place that I do the Q&As. All right, I do not do Q&As here on the group. I've done it once, and I'm glad I did it. But I did it to show you, you know, kind of how it goes and how it plays out. But I typically do that on my group for my group peeps. So definitely head over, put in this search bar, Autism on Rocks IEP group, and at least check it out. Guys, we are at the end of the month. So what happens? I give away every month gifts. That could be Amazon cards. It could be an hour with me, whatever. And if you share, then you get your name gets put into the hat, and I will pull out 3 names at the end of the month. So if you share, post share below, and I promise you will have your name put into the hat. Okay. So let's talk about this. This is a conversation that I wish was actually face to face. What are your all's thoughts on FAPE being provided? You know, I spoke a lot about this before school started. You know, many districts have started already. What's happening for you guys? Have you started yet? If you haven't started yet, what are your thoughts? And what do you believe is going to happen? Because it's a pretty serious thing, you know? When I'm watching videos that you guys are sending me, and saying, this is what just happened, this is what's happening, this is the education my child's going to get for the next year, or, you know, however long it is. You know, many of us are going through different things. There's hybrid learning going on where it's like kind of half and half at school, half at home. Some of us are straight virtual. Some of us are, you know, in school, but like almost a half a day, you know, so it's really confusing and really difficult. And, you know, I'm frustrated because I know so many of you are really struggling, and, you know, I want to help, but I need to know what isn't being provided. All right. So I saw this video a few minutes ago. I saw how he was just sitting there and he was playing with his hands and doing things like this, and he was looking around, but that was it. And then the screen, and then, you know, he's like this and he's not engaging at all. So if that's what's happening, how is that gonna educate the child? How is that going to benefit him in any way, shape, or form? Why would it even be deemed necessary for a student to participate in PE or some other things like that when that's not going to be beneficial to them right now? It's not. Now, music or things like that may be something that's auditory and fun, maybe that would work out. But having them sit any more than they already have to is not going to be productive. Okay, so tip number 1, figure out what your child has to sit for as far as virtually. If it's something that you can do on your own, pre-recorded, whatever, which it shouldn't be, then you need to figure out what's going to work. All right, have your child do the core subjects that are important and bypass the rest. All right. So, for example, this student was in PE. How is that going to happen right now? I sure as heck don't want to sit and watch a PE video or listen to somebody talk for PE. I don't think that is productive. I think it's unproductive of schools to even be thinking of, as an educator, just my opinion. But how I look at it is, if they have time to go talk PE, because it obviously can't be done, then they should be able to go do one-on-one therapies, more therapies, more direct reading instruction, and other things that are actually really a necessity for kids today, especially right now, than talking about PE. All right? So we really need to hone in here as parents and go and address with the districts what really needs to be important and specified for our kids. Because I don't know about you guys, but there's children all over the spectrum. There's children with all different kinds of disabilities. And we have to somehow hope that their needs are going to be met. And if we're going to do that, we need to look at things in a way where what is going to be the most productive and beneficial in the least amount of time. Because their attention span is very little, most of them, okay, to listen to this type of stuff. All right. I mean, I was listening to this video. All right. I'll just play the video for you and not show you the video because I don't have permission to do that. But I will let you listen so that you can hear how this was spoken about. Here, hold on. I got to pull it up. All right.
Expectations. So you're going to click on the soccer ball and then click below and you're going to see
so it's a screen and she's teaching and it's PE.
Oh, someone needs to mute their mic.
Can you hear it?
Then you click to the next one and it says click on the weights to do a simple exercise. These are the weights down here. Or click on the water bottle to do a more challenging activity. The water bottle is right over here. Do you see what's on the water bottle? Do you recognize that PE sticker? So
all right, so you hear a teacher teaching PE. Fine, she did a great job. You know, you can only do the best you can. It's not the teacher. She's teaching a gen ed class, PE. You have a student with autism participating in that class. It's not productive. All right. He's sitting for longer periods of time than necessary. All right. If we're going to want many of our kids to sit, then we're going to have to pick and choose of importance of what they're going to sit for. All right. And that can be spread, needs to be spread out. So this is not something that the schools just get to dictate. All right. So let me give you an example. For FAPE to be provided, it has to be individualized and uniquely based. All right. Or you can say uniquely based and individualized. Doesn't matter. Okay. So for something to be individualized, that means it needs to be created for you or me or your neighbor's child or your sister's child, whoever. So when it's individualized, that means it's going to be created for Raven. Or let's see some of the people on here. We have Cynthia or Michelle or Jan. All right. Or Kim or Chastine. I got it. So if it's for all of us, give me 1 second, Myrna. Then that course somehow is created for us. So if it's created for us and our individual needs, then it needs to meet our direct needs, meaning hold our attention, and it needs to meet our educational needs. Now, where we as parents step in is to, hopefully redirect our children and have them sit down and pay attention. Redirect our children, have them sit down and pay attention. Maybe get them a drink. Maybe get them a snack because they need something else to do, right? While they're paying attention, whatever it is that incentivizes them. I'm all about incentives, If an incentive is going to make you do X, Y, and Z, I'm all about it. All right? So my thing is, right, thank you, Jan. We have to figure that out. And so that means you need to get on the phone. Well, actually, don't get on the phone. Email it to the district and say, hey, this isn't individualized for my child. The special education teacher is teaching to 5 different students when my child's IEP actually says direct instruction. Or my child is having speech therapy and there's 5 other kids in the Online class. My child's IEP says direct one-on-one instruction. Doesn't say group. These are the things that are happening, and the school systems are saying, oh, well, that's all we can do right now. Doesn't work like that. All right. The other thing you need to address is if it's not working, meaning if it's not working for your child, they're not learning. All right. There's something going on. Meaning they are watching the online class. All right. And it's not clicking, or they're not learning anything. They're just literally being present. All right. If your child is just being present, that's not productive. The point of this is to somehow get through this horrible time and for our kids to learn something in this next year. Something. Please let them learn something. And they're not going to learn anything if they're bored. They're not going to learn anything if there's not something engaging for them. All right? And the schools can't say, oh, well, mom and dad didn't do XYZ, so that's why FAPE wasn't provided. They're not allowed to come back at us like that. We're not allowed to receive any backlash because we're parents, and many of us are not educators. We're doing the very best we can. And that's with parents who are just trying to make ends meet and have to work on top of it all. And so just know you cannot receive any backlash for FAPE not being provided. It cannot come back to you. So never let that happen. Know that it is not able to happen. They are not able, the district, school, whomever, is not allowed to come back and say, oh, well, Sebastian didn't learn because of XYZ, or Sarah didn't learn because of, the parent didn't redirect the child and put them back in the seat so that they could listen. That can't happen. So you do the very best you can. You help your child stay, as productive as possible. But there's only so much we can do. And if it's not working, then FAPE is not being provided. Now, what happens at that point? School's not in session, and, we're trying to have FAPE be provided to our kids. And it's not, because they're not virtual learners. They're hands-on, like many students are, even students without disabilities. So you have to figure out, what's next. And you definitely have to address it with the school. You want to most definitely have it on recording. Show them how your child stayed in their seat for 5 minutes and then got up and ran around and you couldn't get them back to their seat. Or then they came back to the seat and they played around for, 5 minutes on the computer and tried to listen and then got up and ran around again, and whatever it is that they needed to do. In many IEPs, what's happening is the things that are provided to our kids, such as, that time where they can walk the hallway or have that downtime to go do whatever because they need to decompress, is not something that can be enforced at home. So it's up to us to do that. Yet if it's a class that the teacher is teaching and we have to then get up, then what's happening? Our kids are missing instruction. All right. So there's this real struggle here of what do we do? What are we going to do to make this happen in the right way? I mean, what's even more frustrating, guys, is not knowing how they're really going to learn, and what they're going to take from all of this, and if it's going to be positive in any way. And it's scary a little bit, the more I think about it, the more scarier it seems, especially when I started getting videos. I think it was about Thursday last week, but I got even more today. And so I'm curious. I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what it is that's happening with you guys right now. Have you started school? Has any issues occurred? Has it gone beautifully? Is there issues? Is your child just not learning this way? Is this just not an option? So I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you have to say. So post that below. And if you have any questions, um, I'm here for a few minutes. And, like I said, Mondays are tip of the week. So it's not typically my longer night. But we are having a live Q&A tomorrow night over on the group. You click the join the room. But I will also probably put out there, if there's issues and you guys PM me, I will also put out a Zoom link so you can join via Zoom, and then I'll share my screens, kind of thing. Or I may have some people on Zoom and some people on in the room. So you guys will see me face to face live tomorrow. So let's see who we have here. We have Said, am I saying that right? Said. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Kim, how are you? And hello, Lucy. It's nice to have you back from vacation. And Tony, it's over in the group. I want to say 8. I'm not sure. Go look. I'm not sure. I'm not looking at it right now. Cynthia says, great topic. I get what you're saying. And Renata says, I love that shirt. Thank you. I think I just froze for a second. Then I have Jan and Michelle Dick and Cynthia Ramsey and Michelle Stallworth Pierce. Oh, it's been a little bit. Then we have Chassidine, and she put 3. Not sure what a 3 is, but I think you're a 2. Then we have Myrna. Yes, my son has PE and drama class, and it's ridiculous. They are not aware of the IEP, and they are using phrases and doing work that is not something my son knows, nor accommodating to his IEP. I agree. And those are the things that you need to have a conversation in email form with the district and let them know that this is not productive and that these are the courses that are important, reading, math, whatever it is, and that this is what has to happen. Okay. If in your child's IEP it says a one-on-one, they're supposed to have a one-on-one, then that person needs to be provided online. So yes, not many schools are sending them to the parent's home. Some are. But if your child has a one-on-one in their IEP, you better make sure it's being adhered to. All right. Thank you for sharing, Michelle. And Jan says Rhode Island has not started. And thank you, Myrna, for sharing. And yeah, so I'm sorry it's not accommodating. I totally agree. I think it's kind of ridiculous to even have that. But you guys have got to record your kids, record them, and show that it's not productive. So it's not just coming from your mouth, because, some schools are going to already be thinking that we're going to be, negative Nellies and, coming at them with this isn't working, this is FAPE, blah, 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 blah. So no, show them the recording, and then that can't be said, because bottom line, they know FAPE's not going to be provided. They know that this is a huge lawsuit waiting to happen, unfortunately. And, you just need to be verbal at the fact that it's not working, and they got to come up with an idea of what's going to work, because they've got to provide FAPE. So yes, FAPE is a free appropriate education. That means that your child, no matter what, by law, federal law, has to be provided a free and appropriate public education when a child, and that's for all children, every child in the United States, okay? And then a child where the word appropriate comes in is when your child has an IEP, it has to be appropriate to who? Them individually and their unique needs, right? So, Myrna, what that means is think about this. Is education appropriately being done online, virtually, with your child? So more than likely, no, it's not going to be appropriate. And so FAPE can't be provided. And that's why I talked about this, guys, so many times. I don't even know what to say. Look, my hair is whatever. I put a conditioner on it because it's so dry. And it's all funky now because the conditioner. Do you guys see it? It's yucky. All right. So bottom line, you guys need to record your kids, and you need to make sure that FAPE is being provided as best as possible. Um, and I know it's not going to be provided, and I'm not happy about that. I've been talking about it until I'm blue in the face because I want you guys to see, and I knew you would see. Now that things are happening, you're seeing, because I was talking about this, and you guys were like, what's FAPE? What's this? How do you know that's not going to be provided? And now that it's happening, you're like, oh, I get it. And I'm talking, guys, not just to those of you who know a lot of things, but to some of you who are just learning. There's so many just learning, or so many who know a lot, but they're just like, this is a totally new arena. It's a new arena for us all. And it's scary. It's really scary, because if you think about it in the sense of just forget the whole FAPE thing, look at it like this. What if nothing's taught? Like, what if nothing's processed? And I'm looking at it not just for parents who can say, okay, screw it, I'm going to teach my child. I'm looking at it as, as a society, this is a problem, because not everybody gets to just do that. Some people have to work and put bread and butter, whatever, however you guys say that, like they have to feed their children. I mean, I work, I help you guys, and so it's important, to make sure that I don't know what I would do if Skylar wasn't at Linda Mood Bell. I wouldn't know what I would do, because I'm booked, So what would I do? How would I help parents if Skylar wasn't at Linda Mood Bell? I'd be teaching her, and that would be a nightmare, literally. And so, I look at that and I think how she would be, and then I look at all of the kids I've advocated for, and I'm just freaking out because I'm just not able to process how this is going to transpire, because there's no way they're going to learn virtually. And like California, straight up virtual right now. I know here in Virginia, many of our districts are straight up virtual right now. They're talking about going back in October, but I can tell you right now it's not happening. And if we do go back, which I think we will this year, it's not going to be till the new year. Pretty positive about that. So it's like, what do you do in that time? And so many of our kids, think about this, guys. If you haven't started school yet, think about this. How do you feel if your child really struggles with receptive, language? Huge. That's how it comes in and goes out. The most important part of language. How is that going to really be worked on online? All right. Visual processing. Executive functioning. There's so many different things and areas that are worrisome. All right. English and math are really reading and math. All right. So really try to think outside of the box of what you think should happen, because I can tell you, even if you haven't started yet, more than likely there's going to be some hiccups, and you're going to have to figure out what's going to work, because I can tell you from all the videos, and I haven't even watched them all the videos I've gotten of parents saying, look at this, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do? And all I can say is record it and make sure, like this parent did, and make sure that you tell the school. You don't have to send them the recording right now, but you can say, I have 5 recordings or 2 recordings that show, very clear that my child is not receiving FAPE. And that's a big deal. And I'm at a loss with you guys too, because I'm just trying to figure out how the heck they're going to do this. I'm one of those people who I want to know. I want to know what they're going to do. I want to know the plan of action. That's what I always try to do with you guys when I'm working with a parent. I try to come up with a plan of action. And I'm trying to sit here and figure out how FAPE's going to be provided and what's the plan of action. I've yet to figure it out, because schools are not commenting to it. They're not saying anything. And, they're telling some of you guys, we're not doing that right now because of COVID, but once COVID's over, then we're going to do this, that, and the other. Or we can't put that into your IEP because of COVID, because of COVID, because of COVID. COVID has nothing to do with what can go into the IEP, because what goes into the IEP is individualized. What is individualized means how your child is going to learn, what is going to work for your child, what is going to help them make progress, what is going to help them learn in an educational setting, and any educational setting, obviously, that is going to be provided. So, the tip is to record and to be aware that it's likely not going to be very productive. So you need to pick and choose what is important. All right. If there's certain things that are taught, like reading and math, and those are the subjects you're more worried about, then I would solely focus there. Ask about programs like Lexia and typing.com. And I'm not sure of some of the math programs out there, but I do know Khan Academy is really good. And so there's different things that you can be doing to help your child, brush up on skills. Typing.com is great. It helps your child learn, how to type, how to put their fingers. It actually shows them. Really great program. Lexia is really good too, in that practice. And so you can ask your districts to provide this, to provide an account for your child for typing.com, for Lexia. As far as math, I don't know what programs they use, but I do know that I believe Lexia might do reading and math, but you just need to find out and have them provide the accounts for you, have them pay for it. And these are things that can be a support to your child, almost like an accommodation that is put in place for them to supplement what they're losing. All right. So this is something that I kind of figured could happen, that I'm going to start advocating for some of my parents, because, if these programs can be put in place, which, I've already brought this up in some of my IEPs, then this needs to be provided with passwords and usernames and whatever else, so that your child gets supplementation to what may not be taught during the time online. All right. So look into things like that. Lexia, if somebody wants to write this down for me, it's Lexia. All right. You can actually look it up yourself and see what it's about. It's a great program for reading. I want to say they do math too, but I know for sure they do reading. I think, and I know privately, just an app, Khan Academy, does, various different subjects. And then typing.com, that's actually a daily living thing. Kids need to learn how to type, just like they need to learn how to write to a certain point. I always look at it like, so they can write a check so it's legible. All right. Let's not aim for perfection. Let's aim for, they write a check that's legible, that the bank will take. All right. And that's where you should push them to. And if they get better, then that's awesome. All right. Hi, Shauna. How are you? Hi, Jessica. Kim says, we haven't started school yet. My child will go 4 days a week and 1 day virtual. We did the virtual last year and it didn't work well. Even the speech teacher said last year it wasn't working. Jessica, yeah. Kimberly Maxwell says, we haven't started. We start September 8th. Jay was was called to go in for a meeting to amend, or I guess you were saying just called, the IEP. In case we have to go virtual, you do not have to amend your IEP to go virtual. I wouldn't even touch your IEP, to be quite honest. They state it's to save time and make easier transition, avoid meetings at the last minute. They say no loss of service, etc. I'm not sure how I feel. I wouldn't sign anything. I've said that the whole time. Do not sign anything in regards to COVID and FAPE and anything in regards to that. Your IEP should not change. All right. There shouldn't be these like COVID IEP changes. There's no such thing. All right. The only difference is your child's virtually learning versus in classroom. If your child has a one-on-one, it's virtual versus in person, so it's kind of a given. And so these kind of intricacies do not need to go into the IEP. Okay. because then you're getting like so technical as to, okay, from September 8th to, because I say never go more than 90 days. So, what is it? November, such and such, Thanksgiving. Then all of a sudden you have to go back to another IEP meeting. No, leave it how it is. If you're in school, you're out of school. The IEP is the IEP. I'm not changing it. And that's what it is, and if you need to go back to the meeting, it's to get services and get accommodations put in place to support, but not to change due to COVID. Okay? It's going to change due to the individual and the individual needs and the unique needs of the child, but it's not going to change due to COVID. All right? COVID doesn't change IEPs. There's no law that says all IEPs must change due to COVID. No. School systems want IEPs to change due to COVID because it's convenient to them. So that's up to you. You make that decision. There is really no point in changing it at all. So it's a given. Hello. If you can't go into the school, you obviously can't get a one-on-one in the school. If you can't go into the school, you obviously cannot physically be taught in classroom. So virtual one-on-one and virtual learning. It's just a given. So don't let them try to trip you up on things like that. It's a matter of semantics, really. So do not allow that. All right. IEPs do not have to change. There is no law or policy that says they have to change. Now, what I'm doing with parents is what they're calling me about is let's go in and change that IEP. Yeah, let's definitely go in and change that IEP because the IEP needed to change anyway because it wasn't serving my child. All right. Then we go in and we address the IEP to serve the child, virtual or in school, it doesn't matter. But if extra OT is needed or extra speech is needed, I'll be damned. That child's getting extra OT and speech. I will tell you, if you're in an IEP meeting with me and your child needs extra OT and speech, I can guarantee you I'm going to get you OT and speech. Guarantee you. Now, I have to read it in your evaluations and in talking with you and seeing that objective data, which I find. But I'm going to get you extra OT and speech. All right? So that's why we go back to the table right now. That's why it's so important, actually, to go back to the table right now. Go back to the table right now because your child does need more services, because they do need more accommodations, online or in person. Actually, they need more accommodations online. So let's go back to the table now, okay? I'll tell you what's so important. You want to go back to the table right now. You want to go back to the table January, and you want to go back to the table come next year. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November. You want to be at that table in their face, getting compensatory services, getting accommodations being put in place to accommodate them because of the lack of service that they're going to get this year. And you want to be at the table now. You want to be putting in for IEPs now because your kids need more accommodations due to learning online. So stop thinking, COVID, I got to change my IEP. Yeah, COVID, I need to change my IEP to get more because of COVID. Not take away because it's more convenient for the school. Not change intricacies that are a given. If you're in school, obviously it's given in the school. If you're at home, obviously what's in the IEP is given at home. That's a given. That's common sense. All right? What should not change in the IEP is if your child, just hypothetically, okay? I was talking to a parent today, and we were going through things. The student receives 1 time a week of speech. This is a non-verbal child. If there's any school professionals out there right now that have control of this, I swear, if I get a hold of your school system or any more school systems, all right, anybody can hold me to what I'm getting ready to say. All right, share this, do whatever you got to do, because I'm serious. Any school system, all right, who literally gives a nonverbal child 1 time a week speech or 1 time a week speech in a group, which I've seen that too, is absolutely insane, number 1. 2, not providing FAPE. I mean, there's so many procedural violations that you're doing, and I promise you that parent is going to come into contact with me. Even if it's not right now, that someone here on my group and page will share this And somebody is going to find out. And if I get a hold of you guys, I promise you, I will write you up for every last violation. Every last one. So get on it, guys, because we want to provide these kids a good, solid education with FAPE and that they learn and progress and do well. That's why we all, including myself, became educators. So let's serve them that way. I get, and I'm talking to the school system right now, guys, I get this is a difficult time. It really sucks, all right? I get teachers are struggling. I get paraeducators are struggling. I get people are overworked. I get people are, underpaid. I get that it really just sucks, all right? And many teachers and many educators are just struggling to figure out what it is they need to do online because that's not how they were taught to teach. And so, it's a struggle. But I'll tell you, online or in school, at the end of the day, whether you are learning virtually, all right, or you're teaching in person, it's your job. It was my job. It's your job. It's the administrator's job to support you no matter what, pay for whatever needs to be paid for you to get ongoing education, for trainings and everything. They should pay for everything regarding trainings for educators and teachers. Teachers, that's one thing that pissed me off. You didn't want to get me into that subject. Is lots of our teachers want to get trainings, want to get help, want to, learn more. And, who doesn't go into a specialty, teaching, whatever, nursing, and just want to continue education because it's a fun thing to do. They enjoy that subject, so they want to keep doing it. And what happens is educators, even nurses as well, are underpaid, and then administration and the teaching situation, they don't pay for it. They make the teachers pay for their ongoing training. That's insane. Insane. When they're getting paid $100,000, $120,000, $150,000 for being assholes, when the teachers are the ones teaching and getting paid squat and then being told, hey, we're not going to pay for your ongoing training. So sorry for your luck. That's wrong. Okay? It's wrong. So educators need to be compensated for that because who are they benefiting? Our kids. They're benefiting our kids. Our kids should be deserving of educators who want to further themselves, which almost all educators that I've met want to. They want to, provide amazing classrooms. And I don't know if you guys saw online, there were teachers where they made like little Jeeps with like these covers for their students who are going to school. That's so cool and so creative of teachers to do. But guess what? Most of them had to pay for that with their own money. Not cool. It's cool what they did. Not cool that they weren't compensated for that. Okay? So us as parents need to understand that educators, teachers are the educators I'm speaking of, are the ones who really want to do a good job, all right? And want to help our kids. And, okay, that's with everything, guys. There's not always every good teacher or every good person or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But bottom line, you got to go back to who's behind them, okay? And that is the administration. And they're the ones who want to be sticklers on the things that are common sense that our children need. And we need to finally put our feet down and say enough's enough, especially with all this going on right now, okay? It's time to just pay attention. It's like anything else in this world. When there's a crisis, we all have to come together and work together as different individuals, right? And really focus on something that is important to us all. And what is important to us all right now, I'm assuming, because you're listening to me, is number one, our kids come first. Number two, our kids, all kids, special needs or not, deserve a free and appropriate public education. Am I on number 3 or 4, guys? I think I'm on 3. 3, we need to support the teachers because they're struggling with this. My daughter is a teacher. I've told you guys that many times. She's having to do all this online stuff. I have friends that are teachers. They're having to do all this online stuff. And it's all this extra stuff that they did not plan, and so they're having to do it on the whim, and going through all these extra things with the school systems and all that kind of stuff. And what's going to suck, and what does suck already, like I said with the videos, is FAPE isn't being provided already. And I know I talked about this till you guys were blue in the face, till I was blue in the face about how it wasn't going to be provided. Now we're here. Now we're there at that point. And now it's not being provided. Before I said it's not going to be provided. Now I can actually say to you, it is not at all happening. Okay? It is not. I was right. It is not happening. All right? And that's actually, to be quite honest, even for many gen ed non-disabled children and kids that don't even have IEPs. Some of my friends have said that this is not working. My kid's on her phone, they're doing this, they're doing TikTok videos and all these different things, and it's not working, because we're sidetracked at home. Think about it. I work from home. And if I didn't say super laser focused and I wasn't on a call with a parent, if I was just doing work and I wasn't face to face with somebody and stuff, it's difficult to stay on task because you're wanting to, okay, I got laundry to do. What am I going to make for dinner tonight? Should I make something cool? No, not really. Anybody ever have short and sweet, good recipes? Please send them to me, because my poor husband, when I cook, I can cook good. But, and this is just getting off the subject for a second, but let me tell you, I told him when he married me, he's marrying a smart individual. I'm very caring and loving, but I am no Aunt Jemima. I am no Betty Crocker, and that's not my thing. So, now I like to eat though. So, if you want to help me get fed, give me some recipes that you guys have. All right, because I know you guys are really creative. I know I'm friends with many of you, and I know you guys have some really good recipes. All right, so share them with me. I need them because I'm crazy busy right now, and I need those quick, fast, easy recipes. Don't we all, right? So post below, guys. I'm curious what you guys have to say. As you know, I speak my mind. I want you guys to freely speak yours, all right? Even if you disagree. I encourage that. As long as it's healthy and we can have a dialogue and a conversation, I'm all for it. If it becomes nasty, I'm not for that at all, and I'll shut it down. But I am all for a discussion of opinions, I will not talk politics with anybody. But I will definitely talk education, and I love having feedback, and I love having other people's opinions that sometimes make me think, oh, well, that does make sense, So I don't know if you guys are like that, but I don't want any argument. I want your opinion, though. I want your thoughts. I want what's going on in your brain, because it helps me. I want other opinions, I'm open to that, completely open to that. I always feel like if I can dish it, I can take it, right? So my thing is I give you guys a hard time on making sure that you're on top of this and making sure that you're on top of that. And so many of you write me back and say that you do it and you're on it, and things are getting taken care of, and I think that's so awesome. And so I just want to make sure that you guys know that you can freely speak to me, and I want your thoughts and opinions. I just want to put that out there. Kim says, I was told from okay, let me scroll up. Okay, I was wondering about that. I'm new. My son is going to be in kindergarten. I was wondering about the one-on-one. Some can come to your home. Some schools are actually really being cool like that. So there's no harm, no foul in asking. I say definitely ask for it. Push for it. Especially if your area's open a little bit and, things are open. You're in phase 2 and, definitely. I would definitely ask. How can they have virtual one-on-one with the class? The one-on-one is basically in the classroom and talking with your student. It's going to be a big cluster mess, but that's all they can do, and I get that. So unless they'll provide the one-on-one at your home. And even say, hey, I'm open to signing a waiver, or I'm open to, the temperature being taken, or masks being worn. You know, if you want a one-on-one in your house, you better be open to some of those other things too. You know, my thing is you got a little bit of give and take. So yeah, that's kind of how it works, Emmett. Kimberly says, I'm concerned about my son's one-on-one being utilized to help other kids, while for short periods to help with his independence. I've been okay with it, even though they're not supposed to do that. But now with maintaining social distancing, I'm not okay with it. Yeah. So you have to put that out there. So let me just tell you guys something. And I've said this, in reference to IEPs. I teach this in my course, Rock the IEP, which takes you from the beginning to the end of the IEP and teaches you my PPPN system, which is plan, prepare, present, persuade, and negotiate. If you guys are going to advocate, you got to be okay with being very assertive with your words and with what you say. All right? This is your children. All right? So don't go into this thinking you're going to please all if you are a people pleaser. All right? I'm speaking to my people pleasers out there, and I want you guys to know you have to unplug that plug when you're dealing with the IEP. The only person you should be pleasing is your child. All right? So everything else needs to come out. You need to come out of your comfort zone with that. Because in the end, you got to look at it like, my child get X, Y, and Z, or I need to people please. So just look at it like that. I know that's hard. I have so many friends that are opposite of my personality, guys, and are people pleasers. I work with people pleasers all the time. I love my parents. I don't care if your personality is, out there and very vocalized like mine, or if you're quiet. The quiet ones are the ones that I learn most from. So you have to know that it doesn't matter about you. It's not about you or your personality, because everybody's personality is there for a reason, and you're awesome in who you are. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But in the IEP, guys, you've got to focus on your child and do whatever you have to do. And I mean it. Anything. Okay? As long as, you're abiding by, the law, and you're not hurting anybody, your mouth you somewhere with the IEP. And the more you question what is going on, and that they come up with an answer, they say an answer, you question that. And you keep questioning and asking questions, and you're going to learn so much. Okay? We don't start till the second week of September. I've had the worst year last year here, and it was our first year at a new school a few months ago. I'm already fed up with how things were left. I'm scared because they may do the same this year with his needs in the IEP meeting, hopefully this week sometimes. Still waiting on that. And what should I start with? What do you mean, what should you start with, Jessica? What are you trying to pinpoint or figure out? Yes, Linda Mood Bell. I love them. They're great. How long does it take to get a one-on-one? My son has been waiting since before the pandemic. What do you mean waiting? Because there isn't a time thing on a one-on-one. So that doesn't make sense. They don't say, hey, we'll give you a one-on-one in 6 months. It doesn't work like that. It's based off need, and that's when your child gets one-on-one. So I'm not really following you there, Renita, because it doesn't work like that. So obviously the pandemic happened, so that's not going to be provided. But if your child goes back to school and you've been waiting for a one-on-one, then I'm assuming they'll give you a one-on-one when you go back to school. I don't know. I don't know what your situation is. I don't understand the waiting verbiage in what you said. So maybe you can clarify that for me. Debbie says, I don't think schools have been given any clear directives on what to do by their state departments. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they're not knowing what to do, right? So this isn't actually a state mandated thing as far as FAPE being provided, right? It's a federal thing. So, states are at a loss as well of figuring out, oh crap, what do we do? Um and that's why I don't know about you guys, but did you hear about, and look this up, many superintendents of education of your state are waiving um, assessments. Have you heard that? They're waiving assessments. Hey, look, someone gave me a like mean face. That always cracks me up. I always get one mean face. Never have I had more than that. But it's always one mean face. It's funny though, because I'm like, what did I say to get a mean face? That's weird. But whatever. I'm fine with the mean face. It's cool. All right. So, where else are we, guys? Have you guys heard that? Did you guys hear that? I'm waiting on y'all to answer. Um, what was it? So in my state, the superintendent of education, so you go to your state Department of Ed, and he said that there's going to be no mandated testing, something like that. It was like no mandated testing, or like, oh, testing reporting. That's what it was. No mandated reporting. That's what it was. So let me know if your schools have said that. Yeah, mandated reporting. Hang on, I'm going to look it up real quick. All right. Yeah, y'all should look it up. So I have to say that's probably one that I will go ahead and agree with. It's because they know FAPE's not going to be provided. Why do you think they wouldn't mandate reporting for assessments? Why else? All right, so I'm looking this up. It says, oh, if you go under, it's called RAINN.org, and you get to click your state. Hold on, I'm going to do this and I'm going to tell you. See if this is like the same as what I'm looking for. Oh, this is more like CPS stuff. Mandated reporting. Okay, yeah. So it says no mandated reporting on standard of learning assessments for 2020-21. That's right. So now they're not going to have, but yet here's the thing, guys, is you still are allowed to have and mandated reporting is different. So it's not about your child, Cynthia. So hang on. So what mandated reporting is, or reporting in reference to assessments, is so the school system or the school districts, all right, all the kids take this standardized tests for that state, right? So when your child takes this, your child may not, but general ed kids have to take a state assessment, all right, at certain grades. And so then what happens is those grades, like voting, all right, they go into, this like bucket, and, who passed, who didn't. And then that is then reported. Okay. And that's where you can sometimes see, okay, that school is, a good school system, or it's not. right? The problem, though, with that is those assessments that are reported are fudged quite a bit. And so, what I mean by that is just, me, I will talk about reading a lot because I've become an expert in it, it seems like, with my own child. And now I'm teaching all of you to not make, number one, you know, just be more aware. I mean, I didn't make a mistake because I'm no reading specialist. But what I want you to be aware of is things to look for. So if your child has dyslexia, or if your child has dyspraxia or whatever, that you're aware of it and you can catch it like that versus, be bullshitted by the school, or, if you have a child that is struggling in reading and then you're given, say, a one-on-one reading instructor, all right, a reading specialist, which my child was. And then all of a sudden something, is not working, right? But you're thinking, oh, maybe it's my child. Maybe it's, this is what's going on, And I can tell you right now that it wasn't my child. But that's where I went with it because her IEP was fine. It wasn't about the IEP. It was about the progress in reading. And I'm thinking, oh, she has a direct one-on-one 5 days a week for an hour. Why not? She's, she's being given everything that needs to be given and whatever, right? No. And here's the problem with that is reading specialists are just teachers with this reading extra stuff. I don't know exactly what they have. I want to say it's like 6 months of extra stuff that they have to do, maybe a year. I'm not sure. But they have many don't. Many do, but many don't. Mine did not have any certification in the Orton-Gillingham method or any type of methodology that is very effective for children with reading issues. And many children, not all, but many children who have reading issues have dyslexia, apraxia, dyspraxia, all these things. And then you have reading specialists who do not have training in this. Or I've gone to bat in regards to this, and this is a big one, is schools are now saying that they have trained reading specialists or teachers in Orton-Gillingham and structured literacy. This is in fact not true. Because what it is because that's what I ask, is I'll say, oh, okay, that's really great. What training? And they'll say, oh yeah, it was this 30-hour Orton-Gillingham training. I said, and I've said this a couple times last week in IEPs, I said, that's great. That's the same training that I took so that I would be more knowledgeable as a parent to help my daughter. But then I say, but that's interesting that you consider that the training that you're now implementing in the school system, because I received that same training. I'm on their, websites and their Facebook pages and things like that. And I can tell you, hands down, I sure as hell could not teach a group or an individual structured literacy in the Orton-Gillingham method. What it teaches you in those 30 hours is how Orton-Gillingham is so effective, how the methodology is proven, what the methodology and the effectiveness and the approach looks like. And it's all about the how. How do you do this? How do you put this into play? Why is this important and the result is how it works, etc. All right. So when I say that, they don't know what to say. They're at a loss because I've taken that training and then I pull it up for them online and I say, I'm sitting here looking at it now. This is what it says. This is what it says that's taught. Again, I took it. So I'm trying to understand how this person is qualified to teach a child with dyslexia, dyspraxia, apraxia, etc. with reading issues when they do not understand or have any knowledge on how to implement in the appropriate way this type of methodology that, if done appropriately, is very effective. So, there's a lot going on, guys. So I'm kind of at the point where it's wait and see, but definitely message me if you have questions. I know that everything that I've kind of poured out there is a lot. So take some time to digest it. Think of some questions. Message me. Um, if you're wanting your IEP addressed and wanting to get what needs to be put in there. And what I'm saying is, you probably already wanted other things put into your IEP, and now you're thinking, oh, okay, what's the point now because of COVID? No, 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 no. If this is something that's needed, then it needs to happen now, not later. And so you don't want to use COVID, just like you don't want them to use COVID as a crutch. All right. So you need to make sure that you understand that, and make sure that you understand that COVID cannot be used as a crutch. It's an unfortunate circumstance. Is it anybody's fault? No. But what it isn't is the school system's way to say, oh, we can't do that. They can't do that. They can't do that. Okay? It's kind of like one of those things. I'm sorry COVID happened. I'm sorry that it's a really sucky situation for all of us. However, you still have to provide my child FAPE. At the end of the day, FAPE has to still be provided. And that's where we're at. All right? So I guess for you, you have to look at it and figure out how you want to go about it. And everybody's going to go about it differently, possibly. I don't know. Are you willing to say, COVID's happening. What is anybody going to do? What's going to happen anyway? Who knows? I'm just going to let it go because there's nothing that anything can happen anyway. Nothing anybody can do. So, I talked to a lady, the other day who just didn't know. And I said to her, you shouldn't have that type of attitude. I said, because with that type of attitude, that's exactly what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. With an attitude like that, nothing's going to happen. You have to look at it like FAPE has to happen. So at the end of the day, as unfortunate it is for the opposing side, you don't want it to affect your child, or you want it to affect them as least as possible. And, that's how you have to go about it. And so however it is that you feel you need to go about it, do that. But I strongly encourage you to focus on what's important here, and that's the kids and them getting the education that they deserve. And can an education be given virtually? Sure. But to many of our students, no. And so even though COVID's happening, there's always options. There's always choices that can be made to accommodate. And there's always things that can be done. There's always that above and beyond. And you can't think that your child is not deserving of that, because they are. All right. So Cynthia's like the crock pot. Yeah, I like the crock pot. I do like the crock pot. I do like the crock pot. I do. Hey, Lorena. I'm so grateful to have you on our side. Yes, it was so good talking with you today. Hey, Yasmin. School wants to use COVID to take away services and want to convince parents that's the only option. It's super frustrating. Yes, ma'am. Tracy says, that's unfortunately true for my son. Speech one time a week and OT one time a week. He's in the second year of preschool, completely nonverbal, and has yet to get a speech device, even though I requested it over a year ago. Yeah, that's unacceptable, Tracy. Unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Not only does your child need to receive some sort of PECS program put into play, yes, a device, maybe both combined together, because the younger they are, therapy is good across the board, but the younger they are, that early intervention is proven across the board. Look it up. Look up early intervention. It is proven. Now look up the good sites, not the shit that just pops up. The first couple people sometimes think are the best. Not always. Some of the actual Scholarly articles are actually not the top ones because they're not clicked on the most. But yeah, I mean, no, not okay, not okay. And the thing is you have no better proof. I mean, you have the best proof. If your child can't speak, that's proof that whatever has to happen needs to happen. And even if they're 10, 11, 12, whatever needs to happen still needs to happen. So, those are the things that just have to take place until they age out or you take them out. And so you need to advocate, and let me know if you need anything. But hands down, that's an easy fix, just so you know. So just know, Tracy, that that's a super easy fix. All right. Cake. All right. If your child is nonverbal and is only getting 1 time a week speech and no devices and nothing in place, that's an easy fix. I can tell you that now. Guaranteed. All right. And I don't guarantee much in life, but that is guaranteed. Tavania says, that's all my nonverbal son gets, speech 1 time per week. Unacceptable. Who else's child is nonverbal and only gets 1 time a week? Shame on those school systems. Shame on them. Seriously. That's just horrible. It really is. Hi, Kristen. How are you? Actually, Debbie, that's not necessarily true. All right. School systems do not always say what the state says. That's not true. Okay. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that that's not. Yeah. No. Hey, Stephanie. Nah, you're funny, Michelle Pierce. All right. Did I miss anybody's question? Hopefully not. If I did, just PM me. All right, I think I got to everybody. Last year, the district gave my nonverbal grandson, 100 minutes a month of speech in the preschool environment, nothing individual. I'm working on changing that, even though he's verbal now, but has apraxia. 100%. Yeah, well, send some of those recipes over, Cynthia. Send them on over. Hey, Jesse, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you? Mercedes says, hi, Raven. Since school started virtually, my son has yet to have speech therapy, and OT has only been once a week, even before this COVID happened. Should the school offer my son more speech or OT? Well, let's just start with what's in the IEP right now, right? So what's in the IEP right now, Mercedes? But you are more than welcome to set up, we can set up a discovery call. Don't click on my link yet for discovery calls because I have them X'd out, all right? Because I don't have time. So people are messaging me and I am getting with you as I'm looking at my calendar because I've X'd out discovery calls right now because of how many IEPs and things I have going on. So just PM me and I'll fit you in. What does it mean to waive assessments? Myrna says. So they're basically not putting assessment totals in. So if the school system does assessments, which they do every year, then what happens is there's like a tally of how this children within the school system, each school, and then within each district, how it's rated. All right. And then you know how when you move somewhere, you can look up the school system and you can see if it's a good school system, if they're rated good, all that kind of stuff. So that's what that scoring is. And so for the 2020-21 school year, at least in my state, I'm curious about other states, they are not going to be doing reporting this year, which is kind of one of those things. Um, oh, okay, Jessica. So why don't you message me and we'll set up a call? Why don't you do that? It would be a lot easier. Um, yeah, look into it, Jan. So a lot of schools are doing that, or districts or states, I guess, because it's a state thing. And it was actually done by the superintendent of our state at the DOE. So you know how there's a superintendent in your school district? Well, there's a superintendent of your state's DOE. Well, he's the one who, ours is a he, um, is the one who said that. Yeah, the state standardized tests, Gina. You're welcome, Tracy. Message me. I'd love to speak with you if you want help with that. And yes, people have asked me, and I'm going to be putting out an email tomorrow. Do you need... Yes, I'll be right there, Sky. I'm getting off. Message me. I have a little bit of a wait, but I will be free in September. Okay, so you're welcome to get on the books now. If you're interested in an IEP makeover, me attending your IEP, giving you help with anything, that sort of thing. Okay, but it will have to wait till September. But yes, I am putting people on the books for there. All right, I think I've kind of answered things, guys. Now I get to go finish writing a request for due process that I'm still working on, and finishing up I'm editing a reevaluation request for a client. So that's what I get to do at 10 o'clock at night. Still doing it because I had calls today, but it's fun stuff. So let me know if you guys need anything. And hopefully you enjoyed tonight. I didn't mean to stay on for an hour and 22 minutes, but it's what it is. Let me know if you need help with processing anything that was said tonight. I know some things are new for many, and I'm very open to helping you and helping you process and helping you, kind of bounce ideas back and forth anytime. Okay. So let me know if you need help with that. All right. So I will talk to you. Hi, Linda. You're welcome, Kim. So let me know if you need anything. I'm here. Crazy busy right now for the rest of the month, but I'm good. I will get to your question. I promise. So I will talk to you guys soon, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye.